So now let's explore the revolve command. The revolve command creates a 3D solid or surface by sweeping a 2D or 3D curve around an axis. So it's something like symmetrical around an axis. So we are going to rotate that curve, and once we rotate that, it will become a solid if it is a curve with bounded areas. But if not, it will just become a surface. So what I mean by that is, let's say here's our area, bounded area, and let's say this is the x, y, and z axis. So if this is the bounded area, if I'm going to rotate it along this z axis, and it's always going to be in the z axis, so that's why we need to change the direction of our coordinate systems, because the rotation is only along the z axis. Okay, so what will happen if this is a bounded area? What will happen is it will look something like a cylinder. Right? So if I revolve this plane right here, or this bounded area, then the outcome or the output will be a cylinder. So what if, let's say, here's my plane, but the axis of rotation is, let's say, right here. So if I revolve this area, the effect will look something like this. Okay, so it's a cylinder with a hole at the center. Okay, another one. This will be appreciated. I mean, this tool will be appreciated if we have a complex geometry, such as let's say a bottle or a plastic bottle. So let's say here's our bounded area. So if I'm going to rotate this along the z-axis, here's the z-axis. So if I'm going to rotate that, what I will get is something like this. So something like this. So it looks like a shape of a bottle. So that's gonna be 3D. So that's the best applications for this revolve tool. So anything that is symmetrical around this axis, then that's the best tool. Okay, so again, when I say the rotation is along the z-axis, what if let's say the same area, same as this one, except that the axis, I mean, what if we want to rotate that axis along here? So if that's the case, the rotation or the output will look something like this. So it has a different output from this one because the axis of rotation is different. So if this is z-axis, that means this is our x and here's our y-axis. So we are going to change our UCS. Okay, so to do that, we have here a sample of a 2D plane, and take note of the x and y axis. So if you want to create a bottle, then I have to change, I mean, my axis of rotation should be along this, I mean currently along the y-axis, but the rotation is only applicable for z. So therefore I'm going to change my UCS. Shortcut is just simply UCS, or you can click this and specify your origin x and your y-axis. Okay, so I'll just click here for the origin, and then my x would be here and the y-axis would be here, so that the z-axis is along this way. So once our UCS is already set, then we can do the revolve. So click the solid tabs and click the revolve tool. It says here select objects to revolve. So let's select this and then press enter. It says specify axis start point or define axis. So we just have to define the axis. So if our axis is of course it's going to be aligned, so that's why we have the start point. So here's our start point, because that's gonna be anywhere. So currently here's our object, and our axis would be this. So of course, to define an axis, we have to first select some point along that axis. So it could be this, or it could be somewhere else, but make sure it's along the axis of rotation, and then select another point so that we can form this axis. Okay, so to do that, um, specify start of axis. So here's our start, and here's our end of axis. So you see, you can have a, by default it says here, angle of revolution. So if it's 360, then it's going to close. But if we specify 180 only, then it will just be 180. So let's try 360, and there we go. So if you check this in the conceptual view, then that is going how that's gonna be the result of this revolve command. Okay, if 360. Okay, so now let's try 180. So again, revolve, select this object. Of course, make sure of your axis of rotation. Press enter, then let's type 180. Okay, and then let's check the conceptual framework. So that's our result of this revolve commands. Okay, so now one last thing is, maybe we'll try a different axis of rotation. So if that's the case, then let's say our axis of rotation is along this line, along the red line. So we have to change our UCS. So type UCS, or just click the home tab. So specify origin, then specify the X, specify the Y. And now you see that the Z axis is along this direction. So if we do revolve, or just type rev, the shortcut, click object, and then specify axis of rotation. So we have a different effect. Okay, so that's the output of that revolve commands with a different axis of rotation. Okay, and what if, let's say, we want our axis would be something maybe here. Alright, so I'll just construct a line and delete this. So let's say I want my axis of rotation over here. So change our UCS once again. So it could be here or there, or even in other points. You can just create that, just like this. So you can create anywhere. So that's our z-axis. So revolve, type rev, select object, press enter, and then specify this axis. Right, so maybe we'll try this, and then change our view style, and then check. So that's gonna be the output of our revolve command. So depending upon your axis of rotation.